Hi, I'm Sean Hessinger from Small Business Trends, reporting from Zoholics 2024. And I'm here with Prathik Bathija, and he is the product manager at Zoho Backstage. We're going to talk about Zoho Backstage. I mean, I guess the first question is, what is Backstage? It's maybe not something, and not a tool that a lot of Zoho customers are necessarily familiar with, although that's probably going to change after the presentation today. So
Yep.
you talk a little bit about it?
Yep, sure. So we launched Zoho Backstage about 5 years ago, and we started off as a ticketing tool. And the first couple of years, we're just trying to get the basics right. We were trying to help event organizers sell tickets online. Then we realized, okay, most events have an event website. So we started focusing on solutions like building a website, building a website app, building a mobile app. And then unfortunately, we were struck by the pandemic. And it was a difficult time for us. And we had to pivot to start doing virtual events. There were barely any in-person events during the pandemic.
Right.
So we realized that, okay, most customers are switching to virtual events. So during the pandemic, we pivoted to a virtual event solution. And as the pandemic ended, we realized, okay, some of our customers are going back and the world is returning to normalcy. And there was a need for hybrid events. So we took about a year or so trying to perfect the hybrid event management solution. Fast forward our journey 5 years later. So right now, we are an all-in-one event management solution. So we cater to event organizers that host conferences, trade shows, expo. So the biggest launch that we're having right now is that we are expo ready. Expos are huge events, trade shows,
Yeah.
convention centers. This convention center is huge. We have about 50 exhibitors downstairs. And a lot of our new release is around how do we equip event organizers to manage any kind of event. It could be a conference, it could be a trade show, but largely around trying to get large trade shows managed using Zoho Backstage.
Well, we heard some of the features during the presentation today, but I wonder if you could just detail some of them for me. The specific features that Backstage can provide for you if you're running an event.
Yep. So the basics are, of course, the website, the ticketing, which we launched 5 years ago. There are like three main parts of a successful event. One is keeping your attendees engaged, keeping your exhibitors delighted. They have to measure the ROI, and the speaker management side of it. Your speakers should know what sessions they are presenting, how are they presenting, the basics, the logistics, and all that. So let's start with the exhibitor management, which is what we're focusing on right now. Let's take the planning experience, for instance, right? When you're planning an expo, a group of event organizers are working with like 300 exhibitors, right? It involves applying for a particular booth, a particular category, looking at the floor plan, trying to pick the right booth. And unfortunately, today, most event organizers still use physical maps. They just circle a particular booth number and say it's been allotted to Zoho. 3 weeks later, they say, oh, there was an accident. Some other exhibitor booked it. We don't have that booth available anymore. So that's a pain point we're specifically solving using our dynamic floor planner. So event organizers can simply create a dynamic floor plan. It'll be up on the website. And as a prospective exhibitor, you can zoom into the floor plan, the diagrams, and specifically look at, hey, booth 101 seems interesting. It comes with these benefits. It costs these many dollars, and you can just make the booking right away.
Oh, neat.
So that's just a very transparent way of helping event organizers sell exhibit spaces. And even for exhibitors, it gives a sense of reassurance that it is a very transparent floor. And there are no surprises because you pay for what you see and you get the exact booth by visualizing the event floor layout. Where's the traffic coming from? Where's
Right.
the stage? So on and so forth. Moving on to another specific solution. Most exhibitors are there for brand visibility, and to measure that, they need to capture leads, right? And again, most of them at the biggest of trade shows still have a fishbowl in their booth. They still exchange business cards and scribble notes behind.
Yeah.
So a specific solution that we've launched very recently is a lead scanning app.
Okay.
All they have to do is scan the QR code, rate the lead, add notes, and they're done.
Neat.
You don't have to worry about losing a card. You don't have to worry about scribble notes. You can export them and sync it to your CRM. It's seamless. Now, moving on to the planner side of things, right? The planner side of things, as an organizer, one key focus area we've identified is that organizers struggle to keep their attendees engaged. It's very hard to come up with the perfect agenda with the best speakers to ensure that your attendees are there throughout the event day.
Right.
What can make it interesting is creating an experience in the event that makes attendees feel that they're part of the event. And to help with that, we've launched a custom app builder through which attendees can network with each other. So we have also introduced Zia, and it's an AI-powered matchmaking.
Right.
So even at this event, there are about 2,000 attendees in this event. Using the Zoholics app, Zia will understand your profile. It'll look at what are your interests. It'll look at your company name, your designation, your job title, and it'll recommend relevant attendees through the app. That's one part of it. We've also gamified the entire event experience. So in the keynote today, Taylor mentioned that you can win an iPad.
Right.
All you have to do is play the game. And what's the game? You open the app, you favorite an exhibitor, you get points. You walk up to a booth and get your badge scanned, you get points. You attend a session, you get points.
Yeah.
And if you're engaged throughout the event, you get some prizes. So there's a motivation there to attend an event, and it just makes the whole experience fun and memorable.
Right.
So as an organizer, most organizers are worried about two things. Getting the operations right. Are the attendees reaching the venue on time? Can I print the badges beforehand? Do they have the right instructions to go to the venue? Have I printed signage all across the venue? That's the operations part. The other part is, how do I create a delightful experience for my attendees?
Right.
How do I delight my exhibitors? How do I ensure that my participants return for the next edition? And that's the kind of solutions that we've been focusing on, and I'm happy to announce that they're all available in Zoho Backstage.
Well, you also mentioned that, about today's event, and I understand that Backstage was used in part of Zoholics 2024. Could you talk a little more about that? I mean, what kinds of things did you use? You mentioned some of them, but
Yep. So it starts with the event website, which was built using Backstage, zoholics.com. The ticketing solution was on Zoho Backstage. See all the registrations that we managed, all the workshop registrations, the attendees who purchased tickets, the general admission tickets. We also hosted Zoho Inspire, which was a day prior. All the registrations were managed using Zoho Backstage. For exhibitors, the floor plan was up on the website for them to visualize and manage their profile. The lead scanning app was used for exhibitors. And in general, we built a custom branded app for Zoholics, which is the event app through which attendees can network. So they can look at the agenda, they can plan their agenda, add sessions to the calendar, they can network with other people through the app, the AI-based networking that I talked about. The app also has a social wall where attendees can just post images. It's more like a social media wall exclusive to all the event participants, where you can comment on other people's posts. In fact, there are a couple of meetups being organized through the app.
Neat.
So a couple of attendees just post on the wall saying, "Hey, I'm arriving early. Does anyone want to catch up for drinks tonight?" And we had like 10 people comment on that saying, "I'm in, let's meet."
Right.
So we're trying to create a community experience where most events are about trying to build a community, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I meet you today, I want to meet you again next year. I want to remember this conversation. I want to remember the event experience. And I want to make new connections, right? So all of these features are available in the Zoholics app, and I hope I've covered all the solutions that we've been using. Because operationally also, we have other solutions like even printing the badges.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the badges that were printed at this event were also through Zoho Backstage.
Neat. So you can print badges also.
Yep. In fact,
Very neat.
this particular event, we have our hardware rental partner, Choose to Rent. They're sponsoring this event, and we have an exclusive partnership with them where we've worked on some integrations with a Zebra printer, which helps us print wirelessly through the iPad. So all you have to do is walk up to the iPad. It's like a self-registration kiosk. Scan your badge or find your ticket and click on print. It'll wirelessly print and have your badge right away.
Well, Zoho calls this a holistic event management software. I'm wondering what we mean by holistic in this context.
By holistic, I mean it includes all the stakeholders, right? So when you look at an event, most of them might think of solutions that optimize for event organizers, for event planners, right? How do we make the life of an event planner easy? But we're calling it a holistic tool because we're not just looking at the event planners. We're looking at exhibitors. How do we create ROI for exhibitors? We're looking at attendees. How do we help event planners create that memorable experience? And we're looking at speakers as well. So there are so many stakeholders involved in an event, and we're trying to cater to each and every one of them.
Um, you know, I understand that Backstage has undergone some expansion. You talked a little bit about that, about where you started and where you came from. What are the new things that are available as it's available now? What are the new things that people have maybe used it before will find new about it?
Yeah, so something that we launched today was the contact sharing feature, right?
Cool.
So I talked about the badge printing feature.
Yeah.
All the badges will have a QR code, which is being generated using Backstage. And we have expanded the contact sharing module between exhibitors, and now we're expanding it to attendees as well. So all you have to do is open the app, scan the QR code, and the business card gets exchanged digitally on both our apps. That feature, which was available only for exhibitors, is now available for all attendees on the app. Another aspect that is new is the gamification experience. It's something that we launched just a couple of weeks ago, where you can create a leaderboard and customize the challenges where, hey, you get 100 points for bookmarking a session on the agenda. You get 50 points for just showing up at the event. You get 500 points for scheduling a meeting with another attendee. This is something that we recently launched, and our customers would find it new and engaging because it in a way incentivizes the attendee to participate in the event. They feel a part of the event. And if you're really serious and want to win that prize, I saw a couple of attendees where they bookmarked every single session, they met every single exhibitor, and they're really desperate to win that iPad.
Yeah. Let me ask you, I was thinking about it as you were talking about the various applications. I mean, besides for an industry event like this, can you just speculate some of the other events that maybe people wouldn't be thinking about that this might be a great fit for?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, we started off small. We started off as just a ticketing solution. And during the pandemic, we had a solution built for hosting virtual events. And we still realized that even though we're far away from the pandemic now,
Right.
we're meeting people, we're attending events, a lot of our customers still have a need for hosting events which are hybrid or virtual. It could be a workshop, it could be a training session, it could just be a small community meetup, right?
Right.
So this new market expansion, although is for exhibitors and for large organizations that are doing large expos, there are solutions available for small event organizers that just need a system to register people through a website. Or perhaps they just need something more better than a meeting tool, and probably something to do with hybrid where, like say on day one, you all meet up. On day two, it's a virtual session. Day three, it can be a recorded session that continues. So there are different aspects of events that we cater to, but the biggest one that we want to focus on is the exhibitor management because there are a lot of moving parts and a lot of pain points which haven't been met yet. But the small time event organizers, the community meetups, that's all possible as well. And there are a lot of our customers that use that as well.
Okay. Well, is Backstage part of the main Zoho package? And how do you get started with it?
Yes, it is. It is included in Zoho One. So one thing that was tricky was trying to figure out how do we map Backstage into the Zoho One bundle, because Zoho One is for most of your internal employees, right?
Right.
Like I run a 25-member team, I buy 25 licenses, and I'm sorted. But with Backstage, it's for your customer's customer, right?
Yes.
I could be a 25-member company, but I could be running an event with 25,000 attendees, right? So we're trying to figure out how does this fit in the Zoho One bundle, and what we've decided is to offer one event license for one organization, which they can try and use for hosting an internal event or an external event. And if they are comfortable with the platform or if they want to host more events, they can purchase the add-on. But by default, every Zoho One customer gets to use one Zoho Backstage license, which is included in the Zoho One account, and they can use it anytime. So the validity is lifetime. So you may have an event need next year or maybe a future need, but you can use that license anytime. And if you want to do more events, you can subscribe through an add-on.
Cool, cool. Well, again, Prathik Bathija, and you're the product manager at Zoho Backstage. And I'm Sean Hessinger and from Small Business Trends, and I'm reporting from Zoholics 2024. Thanks for watching.